My NPS statement just reached me and it's super long and you don't basically need this. I'll tell you in 4 simple words that how to read the NPS statement and save lakhs in long term. First, let's get the numbers right. So basically in your NPS statements, there are multiple information, your name, your PRAN number, which I've hide down for my own, your statement date, your PRAN generation date, but there are 4 numbers that matters the most and these are the 4 numbers you should be knowing the first, right? The first thing that you should know is the total contribution piece. This is the amount which is basically is invested by you or your employer, but the total contribution, in my case, this is the amount to look like. Right? The second important value to look at is the total value that has been created, right? Which is basically the growth, the total number. So I've invested some amount and it has grown to X amount as well. The next important number that you should know is your return, which is earned on this part, which once you minus this number from this number, you get the next number, which is 3753.28 rupees. These are the first 3 numbers that you should know. The fourth and the most important one is the amount that you have gained, the XIRR, since you have invested in multiple times, which is XIRR, the return on investment. The second most important thing in this is to know the allocation of your funds. So all of us know that in NPS, you can choose your money where the money is invested. In my case, if you look at, I have also set my tier 1 account status as active. My investment option is auto and I'm automatically investing 75, which is aggressive lifestyle, which goes to 75% of equity, right? Which means whenever I invest, my money gets divided up to 75% in equity, then corporate bonds, and then government securities. So if you see here, you'll see the scheme details as well, 1, 2, and 3, which is equity, corporate bonds, and government securities. The percentage allocation is 75, 10, and 15. That's the second important thing you should know about your statement. The third part and the important part for you to know is the fees part of it. So if you scroll down to the page, which is the second page, you'll start seeing the transactions into your accounts. So you'll see employer, employee accounts, but in the same thing, you'll also see a section for billing, which happens quarterly basis, right? This shows that there are charges which are not deducted in cash or upfront, but they are charges which get deducted on the quarterly basis from your account, right? And it's fair, it's very low, but this is how you should know that these are the charges get deducted under the statement. The fourth and the most important one to know is the types of contribution. So if you see, there is multiple contributions here. There's a voluntary contribution, there is employee contribution, there is employer contribution, and there's regular contributions, and there's arrears contribution, right? So first we'll understand voluntary contribution. Voluntary contribution is something you make your investment on your own. These are voluntary contribution in your NPS accounts. Second is employee contribution, which basically gets deducted from your salary and are not part of your CTC at all. Third, employer contribution, which is basically deducted from your salary but marked as a part of your CTC. So they're basically employer contribution. Lastly, there are 2 types. One is regular and second is arrears. Regular means current month contribution. This month contribution is called as regular. But if you're making a past month contribution, that is tagged under arrears. I hope this helps in understanding whatever different type of contribution that are shown on your statement. I'll tell you what to do next, right? So the moment a statement comes to your account, you should check it monthly to make sure that you get the amount from your employer or your voluntary contribution are reflecting in your NPS account. You should do quarterly exercise when it comes to checking your returns, which is not done monthly, but I would suggest to do it quarterly basis, right? Yearly, you should always check in rebalancing or making sure that your pension fund manager is doing the right thing or not. So that can be done yearly basis, but that will only happen if you understand your statement and how to know what's happening in the statement altogether. At last, with inside the box and with me putting this whole statement together is to make sure that you understand that statement is not complicated. It's just that we need to understand it together. And you should know your contribution, know your returns, know your fees. If you need any help, do let me know in comments and I'll break it down next time. If you need further help, you can use NPS by PensionBox app or you can sign up at PensionBox to manage your NPS accounts. Till then, do follow, like, share Inside the Box as a newsletter and this is the right place where you get the right information about your pension and retirement. I hope this helps. See you in the next video.